It was a slow build here in America. It was more of a success in New Zealand and Australia and countries here, but it was a slow build. And I remember seeing you in that tour cycle in like 2010 a few times, and every time the audience got a little bigger, like that, the word of mouth got out about Mumford Sons. And what do you suppose it was? Like, was that the plan to have it like just one fan at a time, one show at a time?
Yeah, pretty much. If there ever was a plan, I'd say that. we just felt like gigs were why we wanted to do the band in the first place, and gigs were also the best way to connect with people, I guess. And when people would go away and say, let's go and watch that show again, we knew that we had done a good job.
And you had taken a page or a play out of the Avett Brothers book where they're playing in like secondary markets and going to small towns rather than just the normal like big cities on an American tour. Was that something that you planned on, all four of you agreed to do in the beginning?
We certainly agreed. Well, one of the things we all had in common when we started was touring was our big ambition. We wanted to go all over the UK, all over Britain, and that meant every tiny town, big city. So yes, I think not so explicitly, but that was something in common.
Was that where the idea of the railroad tour came about?
No, that wasn't our idea. That was Edward Sharp and Magnetic Zero's idea, and they invited us. Right. And then we said, can we invite Old Crow Medicine Show? So, no, most of the good ideas in the history of our band haven't been our ideas. So, yeah, but we have had a willingness to kind of jump at crazy suggestions.
And share, it's a community, music community. Mm-hmm. You're sharing ideas. And I think the moment in that in the Sigh No More cycle in 2011 with the Grammy performance with Bob Dylan. Mm-hmm. Talk about that experience and how that really elevated your band into the next strata, if you will.
The playing with Dylan on the Grammys. I mean, I think it's funny because we felt like there was a whole other narrative going on, and then we would end up talking about these other moments. I think doing stuff at the Grammys is a great opportunity, and we were really kind of honoured to be there, meeting Dylan in a practice room and at like a car park in LA. Never thought that was going to happen, but we actually felt like what was happening was much more grassroots. Like the growth was happening in shows, like coming back time and time again to Chicago, coming back and doing those other gigs. It didn't feel like nothing was happening, and then suddenly we got thrown onto the TV. So it's funny. Like I think there were two sort of narratives happening simultaneously. What people were looking at and what we felt like was going on.
Well, I mean, me seeing it from both ends, I'm seeing that organic growth. I mean, when you played Lollapalooza in 2010, and I chatted with you, you played in the afternoon. You played Sunday afternoon, and Daniel Glass, you're the president of Glassnote Records, had said to me, next time they're back, they're going to be on the top of the poster. Because you're in the middle of the poster.
That show, actually, interestingly, we had just got off the plane. I don't know if you remember this, lads, but we had just got off the plane from Australia. When we turned up at that Lolla show, and we were so close to missing that gig.
I remember.
We were like, it was minutes, and we arrived, and we just literally ran out on stage. And I can't remember, maybe the flight was delayed or something, or we just didn't plan it properly. But it was so it was so touch and go, and we kind of love that sort of brinksmanship, like, and still feels this way. Like you never quite know whether we're gonna make it or get through it.
That's the excitement of rock and roll.
Sure.